Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. You know the temptation. I really want to say, I'm Jules Blessed Vegan, and this is 2020. So yes, Happy New Year's, you guys. Thank you so much for checking in. I hope you had a fabulous New Year's Eve and a great day today to just kick off the year. All right, so I have this kind of at a funky angle right now because I need my hands to show you something. But even though I have like a Samsung 9, it doesn't allow me to flip perspective, so bear with me. All right, so anyway, my goal this year was to get to the best version of myself. That was our 45-week goal, which we were supposed to ring in today, and I was going to try and get to goal weight, which I thought would be about 128 pounds. I didn't make it. So I was kind of freaking out because I was like, oh no, I let my group down, and how am I going to still celebrate myself, and da-da-da, and I was kind of flipping out. And I was remembering this interesting study or whatever that they did where sometimes you have to zoom out to see the bigger picture. And so what it was they had a microscope and they would show what appeared to be a brain, and it would turn out to be a walnut, or it would look like a dead fish and it turned out to be an avocado skin. Like, it was like you've got to zoom out to see the truth sometimes. So for me, I had to calm down and say, how can I zoom out and really see what my success has been? So what it was is that I'm going to just go back with my story a little bit. 2.5 years ago, I realized I was going to have to move to the high desert to care for our animals. And the place that we were staying wasn't going to work, and it fell through, and it was a big story. But we realized we were going to have to move. And then I also knew that I was going to have to continue to stay and commute 172 miles a day for several months until the school year ended. It was a really desperate situation. We had to move within a month. So I turned to my best friend for support, and my best friend was food. And not good food, okay? Standard American diet food. I in no way had vegan or anything on the horizon. So I just went for broke, and I just ate and ate and ate to get through every situation. And it was very difficult, and I was hired at a new district in a new grade level and in the very brown desert when I'd grown up at the beach and was used to blue and green and waves crashing and everything else, and suddenly I was in a very brown desert. Now that I've lived here, I can see the beauty of the desert, but at the time I was limited, and that's all I could see. So I, in my desperation, didn't have money for new clothes either. So to say I had a muffin top was an understatement. I was literally cutting into my skin, physically cutting into my skin. I literally topped out at some days, my good days, 279, and most days like 281. And I was full of shame and could not believe that 300 was on the horizon, because I'd weighed 330 at one point, and I couldn't believe I was going back there, but I didn't know how not to do it. And of course, in time, by grace, I stumbled upon Tanny Raw and this community and everything else. But at the time, I was just in survival mode, and it was very, very difficult. So I happened to have the belt that I was wearing, and this is a 1.5-inch belt, which I had to wear to even support my pants at all, without having the belt tear into me even more. I've been obese more than once, and I know the insane discomfort of legs rubbing together till they bleed, of the cuts from belts, from everything. It's so awful, and it was just as awful. So this was the belt, though, that I was wearing, and at the time, and you can tell from the struggles and the notches, that I literally got to the last hole. And that was desperation even right there. And by grace, over time and turning it around, I also tightly did each one of these notches, as I think you can tell, as I lost the weight. And finally, today, I made a poke mark right here. I think if you can tell right here. I made a poke mark right there to show that in these 2 years, that's where I've gone by God's grace with this belt. So that was one really good way to measure it. And I was grateful for that. And so another thing that I wanted to show was a couple of pictures that I have. So I'm actually going to pick up the phone because unfortunately I can't make my phone turn around. It's such a bummer, as I suggested. But I want to show you some photos. As a teacher, you always get your pictures taken every year, and that is a blessing and a curse. This time it is a blessing, but I'm going to have to physically turn you around. So what I want to show you is the difference between this year and last year. And for some reason, I couldn't locate last year's picture, which is really odd. But again, like I said, we've been so busy and have moved and things are packed. But I found a picture that was taken at a similar, right around the same time, that would have been a year ago, and wearing the same top, which was amazing. So this is me a year ago. Don't get like sick with me flipping you around. This was me a year ago. So, I mean, I look good, I look okay, and I looked my best for the time. And I felt pretty good about myself, as I think you can see from the smile. And then this is my picture from this year. So this is this year, and I think you can tell as I show you them both that my face has thinned out quite a bit. And I think if you look at, like even through here, I have an actual neck and even a collarbone, whereas here I didn't really, not too much. So this is the difference. And I was like, okay, well, hopefully they can tell a little bit that I've lost some weight, because I'm trying not to even measure myself right now, because it puts me into a tizzy, and if I get on a scale, so I'm not even doing that. So then, while I was sort of pouting and going, Guy, it's not even measurable, and you can't even barely tell, and everything else, I went ahead and found another photo. One moment, please. I decided, much like that walnut idea when you zoom out, that I would go back a second year, because as I suggested, it was about 2 years ago that I was at 279, 281, and flipping out versus now. So I'm going to show you that. So this is me 2 years ago. And again, this is this year's picture. So this is the 2-year difference. And when I saw the 2-year difference, in addition to finding that belt, I felt so much better. And what I think is interesting about this was actually my most liked photo for 2017 on Facebook, which was very kind. I mean, people are loving and kind and so accepting of me. But I think when I talk about the diet and actually going, high carb, low fat, raw vegan, to the best of my ability. Look at the spasticness in these eyes. Like, honestly, I think that is just a drugged out, standard American diet, spastic self. And it's no offense. I don't want to offend myself, because I know that I was being joyful and lovely. But even though the eyes remain the same, there's a tremendous calmness in this picture. Can you tell? I think you could probably tell. You might be able to tell, but do you agree? So with that, I am very grateful to be ringing in 2020, because I have so many tools now to continue on my path to success, to just get to that wellness, to know that, yes, and I've expressed this, if you followed me at all, that I have a panic attack if I lose weight too quickly, if people pay attention to me and give me too much attention. Wow, you're looking so good. Geez, I can totally tell. Like, I freak out. I literally lost and gained over 100 pounds. At least 5 times that I'm completely aware of in my adult walk. So I don't mind that I'm averaging about 40 pounds a year. This was 80 pounds. The 50 pounds to when I was 330 was quite a few years before that. But my, this coming year, even if it's, 40 more pounds, it'll make me very close, right? Much closer to getting to goal weight. And I wish it wasn't only about food and weight, but it's important because even though I'm more comfortable, even though I'm wearing a 13, 14 instead of a 26 when I was, 303 pounds, 18, 20, and I think I was more like a 22 if I was being honest, at 279. Even though I'm at 13, 14, this is not where I'm supposed to stop. I mean, my organs are still padded. I have a tremendous amount of fat on my body, right? I love that there are some people who are just wearing their natural body, right? They just have their bones covered with skin to protect their organs, and they're just going about their day. That's where I want to be. I love the idea of that, but this is my progress so far, and I want to accept myself for that. So, is this the best version of myself? It is for today, and I'm grateful for it. I went to Mass today, of course, to ring in the new year where I belong. One of my goals this year is to find balance. One of my goals this year is to honor God by literally doing what it is that He asks of me. And I was happy to be at Mass to do that. And of course, I prayed for my Jules Blessed Vegan community. So I'd love your feedback. I'd love to know what was your goal and did you achieve it? And even if you didn't, stay the course because a lot of good is still coming. So happy 2020. It's just started for us and it's going to be a fantastic year. And again, thank you for checking in. You're a blessing to me. Like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. And until we talk again, my friends, best of all, know that you're blessed.